Hello, welcome to the Retro Game Club podcast, season 7, episode 12, which is also episode 201. And with me is someone who is now playable on YouTube, Zach.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know anything was playable on YouTube until yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. I was like, what is the playable section? I guess we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, episode 201 doesn't have the same ring as episode 200. It made me start thinking about the year 2000. Yeah, like how something like that won't happen for 1,000 years. Like,
right.
You know, year 1999 was fun because everyone had so much to look forward to. It's almost 2000. 2000, we were in the year 2000. It seemed like everyone was in a good mood all the time. 2001, hey, we have Space Odyssey, but it just ended up being MySpace. Or Friendster. I forget when MySpace was the thing. And then 2002 wasn't as good as a number. So I guess we wait 1,000 years.
Yeah. Well, 99 more episodes and you're good to go.
But what have you been up to?
Well, I got so did you notice that there was Metroid Fusion and Super Metroid icons now available for the Switch? I don't know, it might be over by now, but I never checked like the For You page or whatever it is on the Nintendo store home front.
I never look at that stuff, no.
Okay, I don't either. I don't know why I checked it, but it was like, hey, if you play Fusion and Super, then you can unlock these extra icons. So you could just change your avatar essentially. So I did that real quick. That was cool. And I changed mine to the Fusion icon. It looks a lot like I think it's the standard Fusion suit.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was cool. I posted about this in the Discord, I believe. There's a series of local gelato shops here where the owners have bought out old businesses, but they kind of keep the name the same. So they have one that's in the laundry, in a dry cleaning facility, and it's called Ann's Dry Cleaning. And there's one that was a hat shop, it's called Ann's Hat Shop. And the third one is Ann's Electronics Repair. And it was a huge pain in the butt to get there because it was kind of far, and we went at a terrible time. There's a huge amount of traffic. Paid $21 to park because I couldn't find parking.
Oh my God.
But there's a bunch of us going in my minivan, so it was kind of worth it. And it was the coolest place, man. It was full of old CRTs. They had the gelato menu. Each flavor was its own CRT screen above where they're scooping everything.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It was really cool. And I don't know, they just had baskets full of like floppy disks. There was a couple of Atari 2600s. They had some VHS tapes. And coincidentally, there was Point Break featured there right out in front and center. And I have to record an episode on Point Break for another podcast tonight. So I thought that was
awesome.
kind of kismet. So that was really cool. That was fun. That was worth it. So if anybody's in the San Diego area ever, check out Ann's Electronics Repair, and the gelato was good too. So
yeah, that's important too.
Besides that, I'm still working on Wind Waker, but I realized now that since I ponied up for the NSO Plus, I also could finally play Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, and Oracle of Seasons. Have you played those?
I have not. I didn't realize those were on there.
Yeah, they're part of I think they're Game Boy Color games. So I don't know if there's specifically a Game Boy Color section or if that's just included with the Game Boy, or if it must be Game Boy Advance. I think Game Boy was for regular NSO, right? But if anybody's played either one of those, I would be interested to hear which one to start with, because they were essentially released at the same time, was my understanding, and there's some kind of interplay between the two.
Yeah, and people recommend playing one before the other. I forget which is which.
I'm sure I could Google that, but it's more interesting to hear from people.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I'll ask on the Discord.
I hope they release Four Swords, because that'd be cool if they did like an online thing with that.
I like Four Swords. That was a fun one. That was on GameCube, right?
I think there was a version for the GameCube, but there's
something special about it where you could connect your Game Boy Advance. I don't remember now, but that was one of the few games that I actually did that with. But that was
Okay.
a fun game. I liked it.
I
would
just don't
play
want to play it
again, for
alone.
sure. I did play it alone, but I didn't care.
Okay.
It probably is more fun with people. What about you? What have you been up to besides a belated happy birthday to you?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I've been 100% in Breath of the Wild on the Switch too. You know,
Nice.
it's in my top 5 greatest games ever. And in my notes here, God, we haven't recorded in so long. I said I'm not sure I'm going to stick with it, and I'm totally sticking with it. So at this point, I have the Champions Ballad left, which is a DLC, and then I think I just need to beat Ganon, and I am just enjoying this game so much. I don't want it to end. You know, people say that the music wasn't great, or, you know, people have complaints about it. But for me, once you get pretty powered up, especially after you do the Master Sword quest, it just feels so good. And when you get all the memories, you know, the acting was just fantastic. And just how they, as it goes on, the story unfolds. I don't know. I think this is a deeper game than people gave it credit for. And also, it's a game that going back and getting all the memories and getting into Hyrule Castle and reading a lot of the letters in there, it actually foreshadowed Tears of the Kingdom. And I just think that's fantastic. You know, a lot of people have really criticized the story in Tears of the Kingdom, but I think going back and playing Breath of the Wild again, it actually made that better for me. So I'm extremely happy with that.
I think the problem with the story in Tears of the Kingdom is that you had to keep hearing the same thing over and over, basically, because they made it so you could find these memories or whatever in whatever order you wanted, but it wouldn't make sense to just like jump in the middle of the story. So there's a lot of repeated information there. 200% Breath of the Wild. Do you have to clear all the shrines?
All the shrines, and also I'm going to try to do all the Korok seeds. So 999
God.
Koroks. So I still have to do that. I forget how many I have right now.
Wow. All right. Good for you.
I'm in it to win it this time. And then after that, I put in the Discord, and you agreed that it's a good decision for me that after that I'll be playing Blaster Master Zero.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Blaster Master Zero and Blaster Master Zero 2 are great. I think 2 is even better. So definitely start with 1. And then I didn't really enjoy 3 so much.
See, Blaster Master might be my all-time favorite game. It's at least my all-time favorite platformer. And I bought Blaster Master Zero when it came out, and then I never played it because I was afraid it would be bad. But everyone loves it.
I'm interested. I'm interested to hear what you have to say then, because I like the original Blaster Master, but it's extremely difficult, and I feel like the Zero series fixes a lot of the problems that made the original one so difficult.
And it's like the first good sequel of Blaster Master, everyone says. Because the other sequels
there was
are
that
not
weird
good.
Genesis one, right? And
There's a PlayStation 3D one as well.
I don't think I know that one.
You just don't. It's bad. It's bad. Let's see. Oh, it's been so long. I forget if I brought up my Comic-Con pickups. Did we talk about these? I'm holding them up.
I don't think so.
So our listeners can see. I'll hold these up to the camera. I went to, it's called Supernova, and it's an Australian Comic-Con. It's actually huge. And I was actually looking to pick up a few. Like, I give myself a budget every Comic-Con because it's so easy to go overboard. And, oh, by the way, that's where I played Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo had a big just set up there. Yeah, it was cool. It was unexpected, too. But, so I was looking to buy an amiibo or two, because they're great in Breath of the Wild. And there was a little booth. There was no amiibos, but there was a little booth in the corner. And they just had like random stuff. And they had a lot of DS games for some reason. And so I went way over my budget, and I got this DS game, Rub Rabbits, which is a sequel to Feel the something. Yeah, I forget what it's called. But in this game, you're in love with this woman, and she keeps getting herself in trouble and it's just a bunch of mini games where you save her. It's really goofy. It's not adult at all, so you don't have to worry about stuff like that because you never know with these weird games. And then I got the sequel to Balloon Fight, a sequel to Balloon Fight, Tingle's Balloon Adventure.
Oh, so, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah, right? Isn't that
Tingle,
strange?
The same Tingle from
Minish. Is he from Minish Cap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Minish Cap or
one of the Zeldas.
I remember you had to. That was another one where you could connect the Game Boy Advance to the GameCube. It might have been. Is it Wind Waker?
Yeah, I forget.
Not sure. Anyways, I didn't realize that was that Tingle had a Balloon Fight game.
Yeah, it never came out in the West, and
that's probably why.
Advance Wars Dual Strike. Can't go wrong with it. Advance Wars on DS. And then this one I never heard of, but I Googled and it seemed really cool, and I'll probably need a translation pack for it. But Destiny Links. It's like a Japanese RPG.
That sounds like your thing.
Yeah. So we will see how these are. I do have my DS here, so I can't wait to get into those. With no transition at all, we have a lot of news. More than usual. You feel like getting into them?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, a lot of these are old because we haven't recorded in a while. Ryan Reynolds is going to be in Dragon Slayer, the movie. So he would be Dirk, right?
That was my assumption.
That seems great. Why not, right?
I think I finally am tired of Ryan Reynolds. we for my show, we recently did Deadpool and Wolverine, and it just did me in. I like the guy, but is Dirk the Daring going to be all snarky now? Like, I don't know if that's a good fit. I feel like Dirk should be kind of a doofus. You know who I think would be a good fit actually is John Krasinski from The Office.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got kind of the right mannerisms, I think.
Either him or 50 Cent. We'll get into that in a minute. We might as well hop to that one.
Yeah.
50 Cent being Balrog in the Street Fighter 2 movie. What are your thoughts on that?
That's fine by me. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I never really watched the original. I'm familiar with it. I've seen the Tuesday clip. And I don't know. I don't have any problem with 50 Cent. I think it'd be fine. You also wrote that David Dastmalchian is cast as M. Bison. That's a little more interesting to me. I like him a lot.
Yeah. And then who is this? Kalina Lang as Chun-Li. So let me see. I don't know if I know her. What is she from? I have no idea. Oh, yeah, and then Jason Momoa might be somebody in this.
He's supposed to be Blanca.
That's right. That's good casting, I think.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fine.
He has Blanca skull. His skull looks like Blanca's already.
Yeah. My expectations could not be lower. I will probably watch it eventually when it comes out on streaming, unless it's super highly critically appraised or whatever, but...
That's the thing, I don't think it's supposed to be a good movie. I just think, 50 Cent kind of shocked me, and then, because I forgot he existed at all. And also that last Mortal Kombat movie was pretty good, so I'm hoping for at least that level.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it'll be panned by the critics, and that the audience will think it's okay.
That's a good assumption, yeah. PicoGUS, there is this sound card that does quote unquote everything. So it's an ISA card. It's based off Raspberry Pi tech, like a Raspberry Pi stack, I guess, but it doesn't look at all like a Raspberry Pi. It looks like a...
No, I agree.
Little ISA card, but it mimics the Gravis ultrasound, so that's why it's called the GUS. The Sound Blaster 2 AdLib, the MP401 with intelligent mode, which I don't know what that is, Tandy 3 voice, CMS Game Blaster. and I think it has a game port as well.
I checked out a few videos where people were demonstrating this.
How to
And
look?
I think it's impressive. Don't get me wrong, but the first one I watched was somebody playing Doom, and it sounded kind of muted to me. Like if you play guitar, there's the tone knob, right? And if you turn that knob the wrong direction, you kind of lose all the highs, right? So it kind of sounded like that to me, but everything else was, I don't even know what to compare it to because most of the stuff I hadn't played before.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that the Tandy 3 voice was kind of cool. It's very much the older chiptunes kind of music. And the other demo I saw was the CMS, Creative Music Systems.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded really good too.
Well, I pre-ordered that. We reported about it here, that ITX board that mimics a Pentium, like a Pentium 90, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has.
So can you put?
Yeah, I was thinking about getting this for that.
Oh, that's interesting. Nice.
I don't know if it has an ISO slot. I still have to look. It's shocking, everyone. It's still in a box. I
assumed that you hadn't received it yet.
I think I received it. I received a box from it, but I also pre-ordered the case for it, and I'm pretty sure that hasn't shipped yet.
Okay.
So it's like a little 46 with a turbo button looking case.
Right. Yeah. All that sounds very familiar now that you say that.
As everyone knows, I can't remember what we talk about ever. Let's see. And from our intro, YouTube is hiding an excellent official high-speed Pac-Man mod in plain sight. So apparently you could play YouTube playables right on the site. And there's this Pac-Man game that it starts out pretty basic, but as you go, it gets faster and faster. And
as we alluded to, I had no idea that there was a YouTube playables. And just scrolling through the list, it looks like mostly mobile games that I would have no interest in. But I did play this for a little bit. I had no idea that hack was a thing to begin with. Because at first I was like, this is just regular Pac-Man. And actually I stopped and I started reading about it more. And it's like, oh, it gets faster as you go. It's like, oh, okay. So I went back and played a little bit longer. And it does get faster. And it's a lot harder.
Yeah, and it doesn't get glitchier. It just gets faster and it stays as smooth. And I guess if you've played Pac-Man Championship Edition, this isn't far from that, but you're playing this in YouTube. For the good or the bad, I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't try it. Is this something you can play in the YouTube app? I just did it on the web interface.
I have no idea. That's a good question. I'll check that out. I use that app daily. What else do we have here? After 27 years, an engineer discovers how to display the secret photo in the Power Mac ROM. So, in the ROM, first of all, it goes on to say, while I was browsing through the ROM, as people do.
as one does, yeah.
I guess he was looking for some SCSI manager stuff. I don't know. But he discovered this photo of the team that designed at least the ROM. I don't know if it's the whole staff that designed this G3.
There's a lot of them.
Power Mac mini tower from 1997. But if you make a RAM disk and name the volume Secret ROM Image, I guess it'll put this JPEG into it. Pretty neat.
Yeah, I never had a Power Mac G3, but I used plenty of older ones in grad school. I think I had like a 7200 or 7300. I love this kind of thing. And Starsky in the Discord had pointed out a similar story, so I had looked into this a bit. But I don't know. I love it when developers and designers and programmers build this kind of Easter egg into their systems.
Yeah, if you look at, they even do weirder stuff. Like if you, at least in one of the case molds for Apple, all their signatures are in there.
Yeah. Like the first Mac, maybe something like that.
That might be it. Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
If you scroll down here, there's the G3 all-in-one, which was the proto iMac.
Yeah.
And it came out right before that, and I knew someone that had this. This is one I would love to own, with the dual 3.5-inch discs and the CD built in this all-in-one. This is just fantastic.
I mean, wasn't the original Mac and like what was the second one called? The Mac 2 or something? Weren't those all-in-ones?
Yeah,
as well, though?
yeah. But this one just
then
kind of, I just love how this one looks.
Yeah.
I'll get into Macs later in our question of the episode.
All right. Cool.
A lot of rambling to do about that. This one was yours. This next one.
Yeah, 30 years on, Doom's Super FX3 upgrade gives Super Nintendo players a more polished way to rip and tear. So this is something that my buddy Emo tipped me off about in another Discord. And it's a Doom cartridge you put in your Super Nintendo, and it plays an improved version of Doom, improved relative to the original Super Nintendo version. But I was looking into it. First of all, does this count as Doom running on things? And then looking into it, it's got a Raspberry Pi in it, and they say that it is like emulating the Super FX chip. But I don't know how that alone, because I believe the original Doom for the Super Nintendo had the Super FX chip in it. So I don't know how that alone would be doing the improved frame rate, which I think is like 20 frames per second. That's what they're sustained. But I'm suspecting that, and we've talked about something similar like this before. Maybe it might have been for the original NES, or maybe you and Hugues talked about it before. I don't know if I was on for that necessarily, but I suspect that the Raspberry Pi is playing Doom and it's piping the video to the Super Nintendo. That's just kind of displaying it. You know what I mean?
I wonder too. Yeah, like, is this even an instant boot situation since it's a Raspberry Pi? Like, does it have to load Windows Linux first?
Right. Because and they said that it will do this Super FX3 that they're calling it. They said that it'll do full motion video, right? So that again tells me it's just piping the video to the Super Nintendo. I even looked. They have pictures of the PCB, and I looked, and there's obviously there's a Raspberry Pi, and there's a big a big memory chip. What's the word I'm looking for? But I don't see anything that you would see on a regular Super Nintendo card. Like there's no game ROM, there's no SRAM. It's just like a bunch of power controllers. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going on there. One thing I am impressed with though, and really want to know how this works, is they have a special controller with Rumble built in. And it will work with that game. I don't know how they do that, because everything I know about how the Super Nintendo works is the CPU sends a signal to the controller spits back a bunch of bits in serial fashion, and then the CPU interprets that. I don't know how they're making the controller interpret something.
Yeah, and they also say that they're probably going to do this with future games as well. Like this controller will rumble in other future games that haven't released yet.
Right. So
yeah,
I think that's definitely interesting.
This does say,
if anybody knows,
it's running at 150 megahertz, which didn't the first Super FX chip, was that 20 megahertz? Something like that? 12, 20?
I think so. Was it 12 or it was, I was looking into it too. I forget if it was like 1.2 and then later 2, or if it was 12 and then later 20.
Yeah.
But that's 150 megahertz. That's the speed of the Raspberry Pi. So I don't know what the emulated speed of the supposed Super Graphics is, or Super FX.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Right, because if you look up what the Raspberry Pi chip that's in there, you look that up, and it says it runs at 150 megahertz.
Okay. Yeah, this isn't like the the full Raspberry Pi. It's just a subset of it, right?
I don't know. It's got the little Raspberry Pi logo on the chip. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but it could be a subset,
like the Raspberry Pi Pico or whatever it is.
Something like that. It's not like a 4 or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's definitely no. It's more like it looks almost like a system on a chip kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's probably a Pico.
Hmm. Well, that is our news. And our topic today comes from one of our Game Club games, Metroid Fusion. But we decided to each of us rank our 2D Metroid games.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you want to do this? Do you want to do one and one, or do you just want to go through yours and then I'll go through mine?
I would say let's try to do a 1-on-1, I guess.
Okay.
And then I was thinking, do you want to go bottom to top or top to bottom?
Let's start with the best.
Okay, sounds good. Why don't you go first?
Mine is Dread. And, I think it's literally... Dread came out at a great time where everyone needed more games to play. We're all at home.
Yeah.
And
yes.
This game is beautiful. It is a 10 out of 10 game. It's terrifying. It gets that Metroid aloneness perfect. And what I thought it really got great, which some Metroid games don't, is the first time you play a boss, you get annihilated and it seems impossible. The second time you start to understand it, and the third time you might not take any damage and just walk all over them.
It's a really well designed game. I agree with everything you said there. I remember the announcement. I was watching like at the kitchen table in the morning on my iPad, and I was like, "Oh my god, is this a Metroid game?" And it said like Metroid 5. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
freaked out. So that was kind of a big deal to me. Metroid is my series, and anytime there's a new game, which is not often.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Dread had been a vaporware game, right? Like it was supposed to be on the Advance and the DS, and it just
I'm not really sure how far along it was. And supposedly, I guess the issue was trying to get the Emmys AI right. Like nothing was powerful enough to do that. I don't know. That was the story that came out after this was actually released. But it was practically an urban legend for a long time.
Exactly.
So when they said Metroid 5, I was like, oh my god! And they said Metroid Dread. I don't know. That was a big day for me. So I agree with you. That's my number one as well. It was really, really, really close between that and my second pick, which I guess I'll just go into, which is your Game Club pick, Metroid Fusion. I really like that one as well. That's Metroid 4. I think it's we're going to talk about that in a minute. So number 2 for me, Metroid Fusion. More on that in a bit.
Yeah. Why don't you go to your? I'll do number 2 then. My number 2 is Zero Mission. And so it's everything I love about Metroid 1 with quality of life fixes and better graphics and a bit more content. And not much more to go into it. I played it for the first time on a TV, so I emulated it. Or I don't know if I played on Switch or what, but it was beautiful, even blown up like that. So
it's a great game.
Yeah. Again, a 10 out of 10
that
game.
Came out after Fusion, right?
I forget.
I believe it was after Fusion. And I think it was like a similar game engine that it was running on. But it's the remake of the original, and it's really good with a little bit extra at the end. I like it. That's a really good game. However, my should I say where that one ranks for me, or should I just go on to
your 2? Yeah.
Okay. So I'm surprised that neither one of us picked this for our first or second. But Super Metroid would be my third. And it's pretty close behind Dread and Fusion. And I think it has the best story, and the way that it tells what little story there really is kind of hard to beat. But what brings it down for me is a lot of the Meridia section where you're underwater until you get the gravity suit. That is a huge pain because you can just fall through those like sand waterfalls and get sent way back. And I can't stand that section. And I have a David Jaffe style gripe about one area of Norfair. I think I'm a little bit more justified in mine. It seems like you're at a dead end, and you can use the X-ray visor to scan around. You don't see anything. You're just supposed to walk through a wall. You just walk through a wall, and there is a bit of a clue. Knowing that it's there, there's a bit of a clue. You can see, I forget what the name of the creatures are, but one of them kind of crawls in and out, and it doesn't you would think that it would like go up the wall or something if there was not a way through. So that's your hint. But man, I was so mad trying to figure out where to go.
I think so. I didn't play this until, well, even this podcast existed, because I've said this on this podcast before. You know, I love Metroid 1 so much that when Super came out, I felt like I didn't need to play it. And so it just kind of disregarded it. I thought, you know, what more could they do? I love that one so much. I'll just play different games. And I wish I would have played Super when it was new.
Yeah. Yeah. I was fortunate to have a friend with a Super Nintendo.
Nice.
Mostly watched him play it, but you know, got a turn now and then.
I think that Norfair part, I think that's one of the things I had to look up while I was playing it. I think I was at a dead end. Fusion was next for me. My number 4.
Number 3?
Sorry, number 3. Yeah, number 3. It's hard to find anything wrong with this game. You know, we'll talk about it during Game Club, but yeah.
Yep.
What was your number 3?
3 was Super. Then for me, 4 is Samus Returns. It's definitely too linear, but it was a remake of a Game Boy game, which was very linear, right? But I like it. It's fun. I think part of the problem for me is that it's limited to the 3DS, basically, or the 2DS, and that hurts my hands to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't spend a lot of time on it. I would like to see that one ported to the Switch or Switch 2. That'd be nice. But I like that one. It's cool, and especially when they threw in some extra bosses there. There's that drill boss. I forget the name of it. That's a fun one. And spoiler alert, Mecha Ridley at the end.
That's a crazy battle.
It's not Mecha Ridley. It's like Nova Ridley or something, right? Mecha Ridley's Fusion.
It's just nuts.
It's some version of Ridley.
Yeah. Again, this is like a proto Dread, and it plays almost as well, but they just get Dread so right, you know?
Yeah.
The parry mechanic.
Yes, yeah. This was the start of that parry mechanic, right? And, well, I guess Other M kind of had it, right?
I never played Other M. That's not in my list.
Okay.
But I remember distinctly this was announced with the Switch. So they did the big Switch thing, and then right after an unannounced Treehouse after, they're playing the 3DS.
That's right.
That was nuts. No one saw this coming. Again, this is probably in a lab, ready for Switch 2, just sitting there.
Yes. Just wait for them to flip the switch. What's your number 4?
Super. So we already talked about that, but yeah. So what's your 4 or 5?
What's your 5? Why don't you go?
Okay. Well, Metroid 1 for NES is my 5.
Nice. Okay.
Again, I find nothing wrong with this game. For me, it's pretty much a flawless game. I want to put it, like, my soul puts this at number 1, but for nostalgic reasons. But even when I play it now, I find nothing wrong with it. Like, I love how it plays. The exploration, the intro music for sure, and the beginning
I love the music in that game. The NES for music, it'll always be the best for me. I don't know. I just love the 8-bit chiptunes music in just about any game, but especially in the Metroid for NES.
Well, this, at least for me, was the first time I noticed in music, sometimes it's the notes you don't play. You know, the emptiness in some of the music is just flawless.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably a limitation of the hardware, but I feel like this is another one that really gives you the isolation experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And all the hacks on romhacking.net for this are fantastic too. But this also, you know, is when I realized that Nintendo Power was just a next level magazine. How they created, to this day, I really don't know how they created all the maps for this.
Yeah, I remember that issue. Yes, I definitely had it.
You couldn't beat it without it, really.
I know. It would be somebody do it's not really a hack. It was more like an emulation where they put a map in, and I think that you could also overlay graphics, but you could just pick if you wanted the original graphics or the original sound. There was something about that. I feel like that was a news item in a episode at one point.
You know, in one of the early episodes, there was a ROM hack, you know, that required a specific emulator, I think, that for Sonic the Hedgehog, where you play it seeing the entire level.
Right, yeah.
So it's really small. I would like to see that for Metroid.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
But so what's your next one?
All right, my number 5, you said you didn't play. I included it. It's Other M. It's not mainline because we've been talking about 1 through 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is pseudo 2D, so I'm including it. Easily the worst storyline in any Metroid game, but the gameplay's not bad. I would play it again. I like that they brought back Nightmare for this one, and I think a lot of people didn't like it because Samus wasn't using weapons until authorized by her former superior officer. That was the thing. You didn't have to find your weapons. You had them all. You had to get permission to use them. And to me, that's not the most unrealistic thing about an intergalactic bounty hunter raised and empowered by alien space birds who can reversibly collapse their skeleton into a ball.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. Like it's not any dumber than, oh, I crashed again and lost all my powers again, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm in it for the gameplay.
But you kind of probably feel that Samus is better than that. Like, who is this doofus that she has to report to?
I agree. I'm not saying people's complaints aren't warranted. I'm just like, it didn't ruin the game for me. It could have been better. It could have been a lot better. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I wasn't playing for the story. And then, similar argument for, you don't collect health, you stop and you concentrate, and that refills health and ammos. And again, like, is it more likely that you're going to find health balls and missiles inside of creatures that you've killed? Like, when you start complaining about, and this is coming from a guy who complains on a podcast about realism in movies. I'm just like, are you going to complain about the realism of this, like, science fiction game?
Yeah.
I don't understand that complaint.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm not going to go
than finding wall meat.
Exactly. The pork chop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to die on that hill, but I think I am one of the few people who liked Other M and would play it again. So that's my number 5.
Do you think I would like that game?
I think so. I mean, I don't remember if you can skip through the cutscenes or not. That might play a factor, but it's definitely interesting. There's some interesting game mechanics in terms of, like, you can basically do takedowns on enemies and stuff. And it's almost no motion control because it was on the Wii. But if you want to fire missiles, you did have to use the motion control to do that. That's probably the worst part of it for me, is having to go into, like, you just hold the controller sideways most of the time, like it's a regular controller with a terrible shape. And then if you want to fire missiles, you have to then point it at the TV, and it automatically goes into first person mode, and you just scan around and shoot what you need to shoot. So they did kind of handicap you with the missiles there.
That is a bit strange. Let's see. Oh, my next one, Metroid Prime Pinball.
Okay.
So This is not a troll. I realized I did not own this one. I thought I did. I've definitely played it. So I did eBay this one. It's not here yet because it's probably in the middle of the ocean right now. But I figured, what? I found a great price for it. If, you're to believe price charting prices, I found an awesome price for it. So I thought, why not? And I'm such an idiot. I thought, like, oh no, am I going to bring up this game and it's going to go up in value before I get it? So that's another reason why I got it. But this is not a troll at all. This is a very thoughtful and great game. It's beautiful. It uses Metroid Prime assets that they pre-render. It came with a Rumble pack, and this is for the DS. So the Rumble pack, plugs into the Game Boy Advance port. And in the first month, it only sold 6,000 copies. And it's been reported that it only sold 15,000 copies. I'm not sure if that's global or US or Japan. my source was not detailed, but I thought that was a little sad. But who was looking for a Metroid Prime pinball game?
Yeah, I did not put that one in my ranking because I haven't really played it. Similarly, I didn't own it. I bought it on eBay, not paying attention that I bought a Japanese import, and I do not know Japanese.
But it's pinball, right? So
yeah, but I mean, you got to get through some menus to start playing, and I sort of did it, and I was just like, I can't do this, you know. So I've since hacked my 3DS. Don't sue me, Nintendo. And I should just put the ROM on there, the English version ROM, and play it, because I have heard that it is a good game.
Yeah.
And I really do need, because it's the only Metroid game I haven't actually completed. And I also am not counting Federation Force. That is not a Metroid game you don't play as Samus.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those games that the space between the screens is considered there. So your ball.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
So, you know, everyone wishes something different, you know, so people should know that's what kind of game this is. What's your next one?
My number 6 is the original Metroid. And you know, we talked about that, but I love it. It's a classic, tons of nostalgic memories. I don't know if I'd ever play it start to finish again, but I did recently just kind of type in some codes and show my son, like, oh, hey, here's Kraid, here's Ridley, here's Mother Brain. There's the end. Surprised you're a girl.
Did he care? Did he, you know, it looks so ancient to those young eyes.
He thought it was cool. I don't know. This was, I said recently, but it was probably a few years ago. Now he might be like, this is old and lame.
Yeah, yeah.
At the time, he thought it was interesting.
Oh, yeah, I tried to show my son movies, which he's very patient with, but when the movie looks 90s, you know, it has that grain to it. Even in the very intro, I love it. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
I had the privilege of rewatching Princess Bride for another podcast, and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch it with my kids because I haven't seen it. And my youngest one noped out almost immediately. And the older one made it like 2/3 of the way through. And he's like, do I have to keep watching this? And I've never been so disappointed.
Wow.
Neither one of them liked it. I think maybe they're too young. I'll try again in a few years. But
yeah, that might be, you might need to be like in high school to like that one.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
It holds up.
I hope they never remake it.
It's perfect. They better not.
And if you go to Comic-Con, those two actors often sit next to each other. They booth next to each other and sign autographs. So for a certain price, you could get both of them, Man in Black and Buttercup.
Okay. Carrie Always and, oh geez, what's her name?
I know, they're both fantastic actors.
Yeah. Robin Wright.
Yes. Oh my God, that would have bugged me.
I know, I would have had to stop the show.
Well,
anyways,
my next one's Samus Returns. So we already talked about it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Mine is Return of Samus, the Game Boy, the original Game Boy version. Which it was great to have it back in the day, but I will probably not play through that one again.
Yeah, that's my next one.
That was one, I did show my son the end of that somehow. So I must have downloaded, a ROM and a save or something. Because I definitely didn't. Oh, no, I still had my old cart. That's what it was. I had my old cart with the saves, and I got the analog pocket. I showed him on that.
Nice.
It looked great on it. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, that's my last one. Meh. For the most part, I'm not a big Game Boy fan, though. You know, there are a few great Game Boy games, but I'm not a Game Boy enthusiast, I guess you would say. And I don't know, the screen was just too limiting for me for specifically games like this.
It was very smeary for the time too. So if you did a lot of, like, if anything was scrolling, it was kind of a strain on your eyes.
Yeah, for Game Boy, just give me block pushing games.
Yeah.
So wanna rattle off your order again? Then I'll do mine.
Sure. I got Dread, Fusion, Super, Samus Returns, Other M, Original NES, and Return of Samus.
And mine
I
is...
skipped Pinball.
Yeah. Mine's Dread, Zero, Fusion, Super, Original, Pinball, Samus Returns, and then the Game Boy one. And I don't know, what could they do next for another 2D Metroid? Do you think they're ever going to do another 2D Metroid?
I hope so. I feel like Dread did so well, they have to, right?
Let's see. Metroid Dread sales. Sold over 3 million copies worldwide. And this is in 2022. So who knows how many it sold after that. Digital and stuff like that. So it's 3 million good? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. When you said, I was like, is that good? I mean, I feel like 3,000 would be bad. I don't know. I don't know what's good.
Yeah, what new thing could they do? Or is it time to, and this is a question I'm asking you, is it time for them to kind of pull a Star Wars where it's like, all right, we've had Samus's story, maybe we run into her now, but let's look at the rest of this universe. Let's have a bunch of side stuff. No,
I don't care for that.
No,
no. There's a podcast that's dedicated entirely to Metroid stuff, and I listen to it, even though 90% of the time I'm like, why do you guys even want this? Like this, like they make me so mad. And it's like, oh, it should be co-op. Like, no, it's about the isolation.
Yeah,
it's like, you should interact with more characters. Yeah. Like, no, I don't want anything. I don't know. I don't know what I want them to do with it. I don't even need it to be a great story. I just need the gameplay to be good. So I feel like we really hit the jackpot with Dread, though. Like, that was good story and good game.
What about a movie adaptation or TV?
I would watch it if it was decent. I'd be down for that. But it would have to be, I don't want Samus talking with a bunch of people, teaming up with a bunch of, I mean, that's fine now and then, but for me, the series is about being isolated in these alien environments and facing the threats and figuring out where to go next and how to get through that red door, or, how do I get to this area that I am unable to reach yet?
So have you seen the movie Moon?
Yes. The one with, oh boy, why did I try to think of his name? I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
He's a fantastic actor as well. That movie blew me away, and I could see, and they got the isolation perfect in that, where he's just talking to the computer and, videos back home and stuff like that. So I could see that situation where she talks to her computer and everything else is isolated, because having a silent movie would bore most people.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be like watching a video game the whole time. that would be boring. Yeah, I agree.
I think that could be good. Yeah. So speaking of which, this game, a lot more than me. For Game Club, we did Metroid Fusion. Would you mind starting that one, since you have vast more Metroid knowledge than I do?
Sure. Now that you've
put you on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. So Metroid Fusion. I thought I put down the release. Oh, there. Yeah. So it was released November 18th, 2002. Developed by Nintendo R&D 1 for the Game Boy Advance. It was released the same day, I believe, as Metroid Prime 1. And I bought them both the same day.
Oh, wow. That's a great day.
Yeah.
So which did you play first?
I think I played Prime first. I don't really remember, though. And I'd have to say I probably played Fusion first, because I think I wasn't sold on Prime. This was the first one, and it's a great game, by the way. But Fusion uses a Super Metroid-like game engine on the GBA, with a great new story, creepy atmosphere, and a weapon system that's tweaked just enough to make it really stand out from the other games in the series, without being too much of a departure. I picked it up day one. I was just out of grad school. I was working about 6 months, so I finally had some free time and some money. I also, speaking of Metroid Prime, I remember you could, if you beat Metroid Prime and then you connected the GBA to the GameCube with Fusion in it, I don't remember exactly what you had to do besides that, but that would allow you to use the fusion suit in Prime, which looked really cool.
Oh, wow. I don't think I
Didn't do
knew
anything
that.
other than didn't do anything other than to look cool. And I think on the trilogy version of Prime, you can just unlock it after you beat it or something. And I don't think they have it in the remaster, which is a disappointment.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to Fusion. I really appreciated the creativity with the storyline, especially in setting up the premise. You're on, I don't forget the name of the planet, but it's infected by these X parasites, and Samus gets attacked by one. And I love the idea, the body horror of it. They don't even really show much, but it causes her suit to fuse with her body.
Mm-hmm.
And like they can cut off parts of it, but not all of it. And so that's why her suit looks so much like it's skin tight, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's part of her. And I think the only lame thing is that, everything's all done and you're cured at the end, but it's fine. It's a video. So that opening story, it's got a whole new take on the almost trope-like beginnings of most Metroid games where, oops, I lost all my abilities. And that's fine, but the Fusion storyline puts the original spin on it. She was infected. They've had to cut the parts of her suit off of her, and now she has to go back to investigate. And then this also allows you to have a little bit more interesting things happen with weapons and ammo. So instead of finding weapon balls or ammo balls and missiles, you're getting these. They look like a virus almost, the X parasites. So when you kill a creature that's infected with an X parasite, the X is left over, and you absorb it, and you either get energy or replenish your missiles or bomb. Super. What is there? Is there super bombs in that?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. And so where was I? I don't know. I just love the whole setup of this. The X parasite infection, when they show that happening in that opening clip, it kind of reminds me of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that, right?
I definitely agree. Yeah.
So that also really makes me like this game. And where was I? There's a lot of great creepiness in this game as well. The nightmare boss, I love that boss. It's so good. He starts off creepy looking, and then as you're beating him, his face starts to melt. Yeah, that's really effective. And then he does something weird where the background gets all wavy, and I think he starts messing with the gravity and stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tough fight. That one's really good. To a smaller but more immediate effect, early on in the game, you see the zombie researchers. There's just dead people, and then an X parasite goes and reanimates it. That's pretty cool. Great moments of tension and panic when you have to hide from and or run away from the SAX before you are strong enough to defeat one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They warn you. They just say, don't even try, right? Just run or hide.
Right. And, if you think maybe the game's trying to mislead you, you will be wrong because you will get destroyed very quickly. So I feel like that was actually a good stepping stone for the Emmys in Dread. It's a similar thing where at first you just got to outrun them. There's nothing you can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played Dread before this, so, it was kind of neat seeing learning about history, seeing where all this came from, I didn't know that they were this connected. I played it. I was homesick for a few days, so I finished this almost in one sitting. I played it on the Switch. Nice. It's my last Switch game before I got the Switch 2. This is a 9 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10 game. What else? My only complaints, I agree with everything you said. I could not beat Metroid without rewind. Like maybe back in the day I could try over and over again, but I definitely rewound, scammed. I scum rewound. I don't know, instead of scum saving.
Right.
And let's see. Right after Nightmare, you go into this really convoluted area where it's it's almost like a morph ball maze, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the only time I had to look up how to beat Nightmare. I didn't have to, but I was like, I just want to
It
get
helps
through
to have
this.
some tips.
Yeah,
It is a difficult fight.
but this is the only time I was like, I need to watch a video for this part. I can't fight. I spent so long trying to figure out where to go, and I just couldn't sort it out. So that's a complaint for me. And for 2002, they could have had a more robust ending. The ending animation in Super was longer than this one, much longer. So
Yeah.
that's a big complaint.
Yeah, and it's just a single frame, right? Like I think the spaceship flies at the screen, and then it's like she's in the cockpit, thumbs up or something, right?
That's about it. Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? That's it for all this. So that was a big disappointment.
Well, isn't it more about the fun you had on the way?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It was better than just the end.
So, yeah. Or just have it, like older games, start over again.
Yes.
You lost all your powers again. So, yeah, fantastic game. Even with, we listed all these games in order, like even the bad, the games in the bottom. Like, I don't like the Game Boy game, but all of these are fantastic games.
Yeah, totally. I completely agree. Something else I liked about this one was the little changes they did with some of the weapons. So, for example, you get ice missiles instead of an ice beam, and the reasoning for that is something about the X don't like cold or whatever, which is fine. That's fine.
Which means you don't like cold for a while.
Right, exactly. So I thought that the ice missiles, which now the more I think about it, the less it makes sense. Like, why could you have ice missiles but not an ice beam? Whatever, it doesn't matter. I like the ice missiles, but I thought it was interesting because they were sort of retconned into the Metroid lore when they were put in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which chronologically takes place before Fusion, but was released well after Fusion.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting little.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Prime. I played Prime 1, but I just through it. I didn't play 2 or 3.
1 is better than 2 is better than 3, but they're all good. And then I like the stacking of the missile upgrades instead of having to pick, like in Super, you have regular missiles and you have super missiles. So, and you have different ammo counts. So I thought that was nice to just condense that into, just better missiles.
Yeah. Yeah.
It also kind of downplays the collectathon aspect of it as well, because you don't have to collect quite as many different upgrades to get fully maxed out, right? I really like the elevator breakdown shortly after.
That's like right. Yeah.
There's like a mid-game countdown and then the elevator breakdown, and the Neo Ridley reveal is a nice touch. People complain that it's similar to Other M. People don't like that Samus is instructed on how to proceed by Adam the computer through most of the steps. By the way, in Other M, the guy telling you what to do is Adam, like the real Adam. So I feel like that was Fusion set you up to have that happen in Other M. But anyways, people don't like that. She's being told where to go from the computer, and a lot of places are kind of locked off. So I didn't mind it. I understand the complaint. I didn't mind it. Earlier Metroid titles, you can often wander too much without a real clue as to where you're supposed to go.
Totally, yeah.
So, especially in like Super Metroid. Also, checking in with the computer Adam, I felt added to the sense of unease because you don't really know if you can trust them or not. First time you've played through anyway.
Yeah.
As for my own critiques, I did find it to be a little too easy, I thought, especially in the first half. And there's that troublesome spot in the water area, Sector 4, after you beat the nightmare. I think that might have been what you're talking about, where it's like a morph ball maze.
Totally. So that was my least favorite part for sure.
Yeah. Like I know there's one spot where I forget if you have to I think you have to hang off an edge and missile something, or maybe you need to bomb something after you tunnel in there, but you swear you've checked everywhere, and then you finally go and watch somebody play through and they're like, oh, that's where it is.
And actually with the spot I got stuck, it's all over Reddit, people asking where to go. And
Yep.
The video I watched was a first time playthrough, and I just I kept having to fast forward because they got stuck too.
I'm pretty sure that if you just Google "stuck in Metroid Fusion," that's the first thing that comes up.
That's it.
That
Exactly. Yeah.
But anyways, that I think it is a bit linear because of how everything is closed off to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I love this game. It is so good. I've played it so many times, and what I really would like is to see this remade in the Dread engine.
Yes, I
really
agree.
cool.
Yeah, do it for sure. Yeah, why not? Well, want to move on to your game?
Sure. So I picked Mega Man 5, which was released by Capcom in December of 1992 for the NES.
Yeah, these games are 10 years apart almost exactly.
Oh, for one second, I thought you were talking about the Mega Man games.
No,
I was like, there wasn't that big of a gap, but yes, that's funny. Yeah. So this is the most fun I had with a Mega Man game since Mega Man 2. It's my second favorite. My real quick, my ranking is 251643. Be happy to expand on any of that. All great to play on the Mega Man Legacy Collection because it uses your favorite feature, rewind. You have the rewind button mapped to, I think, the L trigger. So you fall in a pit, whoop, just hop right back out.
Yeah.
So you can just cruise through these, and they're a lot of fun. The plot is basically the same in this one. It looks like Proto Man kidnapped Dr. Light, but of course, it's really Dr. Wily behind it. It's always Dr. Wily behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play Mega Man for the games or for the story.
Yeah.
I felt like this one was an improvement over 3 and 4 and was more inventive than the previous titles. It restored the balance of gameplay and the difficulty of boss fights, especially with the Robot Masters. The weaknesses that they have in this, each robot has its own weakness, like in the first 2, I think, right? I feel like Metal Blade kind of worked on more than one boss in Mega Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like in 3 or 4, it was like you had a couple of powerful weapons and a couple that were just used for, I don't know, like to get through a certain area. And this one, I felt like you really had to figure it out or look it up. And that's what I like about the Mega Man games is like, oh, which boss is this weapon going to work on?
Yeah, yeah.
The stage level design in these was also the stage level design in this one was also a nice level up. You have the moving train cars of the Charge Man stage, low gravity on the Starman stage, reverse gravity on the Gravity Man stage, auto-scrolling elevators on the Gyro Man stage, and then you have that Battletoads Turbo Tunnel-like area of the Wave Man stage, which is a lot easier than Battletoads, but that's what it reminded me of. And I really like the music in this one. It's not the best in the series. Some of the earlier stages are even a little bit too bleep bloopy, maybe. But all of it I like better than 3 and 4. And I felt like the music in 4 was just completely uninspired. Like somebody phoned it in on that one. But in this one, it gets really, really good at the Darkman Castle stages. I don't know if you made it that far or just
no, I didn't make it that far, but I watched video of where I didn't get to.
So listen to the music for the first part of the Darkman Castle, and then listen to the main theme from Shovel Knight. And I think that Shovel Knight took a lot of inspiration there.
Oh,
they
okay.
They are very similar to me. Actually, I wonder if St. John has anything to say about that. He's kind of the video game music expert here. So let me know, John. That's about it for my notes on that.
Well, so was this the game that or was it 6 that they
it was
had
6.
a contest for?
I had that in my notes at one point. I wrote that down. I was like, is this the one where everybody got? That was 6. And I guess a lot of them all throughout the series, probably not the first one, have been inspired by certain suggestions, but the one that they specifically had a contest for was 6, and that one was worldwide. I think with the other ones, they took suggestions from Japan only or something.
Okay. Yeah. And my notes, see, I'm okay at Mega Man 1, 2, and 9. I don't know why those.
That's fair.
I'm not good at the other ones.
Play with the rewind.
Napalm Man in the jungle. I don't. Is that okay to do, or is that?
Is that problematic?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. We actually have some. I know some affected people from Vietnam, and yeah, I'm like, really? It seems too soon, but
My apologies for picking this game to
no,
those people.
yeah. But I had no idea. I hadn't played this one before this. And I was just like, that stood out to me where I was like, you couldn't like, I'm not saying I'm offended in any way or anyone should be. I was just like, I feel like there are 100 other robot ideas before you get to things like that. And I really appreciate it. I always thought Mega Man should have a higher jump. Like, I understand why he doesn't, but I appreciated that, yeah, they made this game a little bit easier. I read about the development of this game, and they really put everything they had into Mega Man 4, the core team. And the same team worked on this one, and they're like, well, what should we do? And they're like, let's just make it more approachable. And so that's why there's some higher jumps and stuff like that. And
Okay.
And like you said, low gravity in the Starman, Starman and then anti-gravity in the Gravity Man stage. And about why you have, I see your order of Mega Man games. I mostly agree. 3 being bad, I read about that. I don't think it's bad. It's just poorly programmed. So it was pretty much the one guy who programmed Mega Man 2, and he was just a preternatural
I'm sure
developer.
they were rushing it out too. Yeah.
And he was the only person that really needed to look at the code, so I'm sure he wasn't cleaning it up much. And then I think he just dumped it on whoever did number 3, and they weren't as good as a programmer. So that's why 3, even in the menu screen, you see glitches 2/3 of the way down the screen.
Yeah.
And there's a fantastic YouTube video of a modern developer who goes through that code and sees the mistakes they made, and just changes like 1 or 2 lines of code or moves the function around or something like that, and cleans up Mega Man 3 and actually released that hack.
Yeah, I've seen that. I wonder if you posted that on the Discord or something at some point.
I don't know.
I've watched it within the last year. It was pretty recently. Somebody pointed that out to me.
I think it's pretty new. I think it released like in the last year.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that guy's videos. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think he also did the thing where he was looking at the difference in the jump animations from Ninja Gaiden 1 to 2 on the NES.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. It sounds like he gets into the minutia of it, and maybe that's not your thing, but I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah. I love these people that are smarter than me.
If you thought that Napalm Man in the jungle was offensive, did you play Mega Man 6 with Tomahawk Man?
I didn't even think about that one. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm wondering if that one was submitted by an American.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they would have done those today.
Yeah.
I never played all the way through Mega Man 11. I should see what the robots in that are.
That one's fine. One of them was like Brickman or something. It was fun. I liked it. That one has the, I think it's the Yellow Devil comes back, and that was really hard. Because like with 11, there's no, I don't know. I'm sure you can emulate for that, but I just played it on Switch, and there was no pause and rewind. So I was playing on like easy, and it was hard. It was hard to get through. Some of those stages were really difficult.
Yeah. I did not finish that one.
I would highly recommend finishing off the NES ones if you haven't yet on the Mega Man collection, because it's it's not super easy, but it's a lot easier when you can just rewind.
I should, yeah. And I could even, I mean, in the past 10 years, I've beaten 1 and 2, so I should really do the rest of them. I've played, I think at this point I've at least played the rest. I know I've rented 3 quite a bit. And now, let's see, what do I have here? I have 2, 3, and 4 sitting next to me. I know I have 1, but I don't have the box for it. I only have my box games here next to me. Yeah, so I will have to check those out. I did end up playing this on the Steam Deck because My eyes are not good enough for the Pocket anymore. They need to release the Pocket
Just
XL
get
or
a big,
something.
just get a big magnifying glass. They sold one of those for the Game Boy originally.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, they should sell those for the Pocket. That's a good idea. Yeah. So should we move on? So what's
What's your next pick?
Yeah, what's your next pick?
My next pick, I'm going with. I was gonna change it to Other M, but I won't. I'm gonna go with Bionic Commando for the NES, just because I really love NES games. Don't play the arcade one; it's not good. Well, in my opinion, it's not good. See the episode on Ports Better Than the Arcade for reference. That's season 6, episode 23, and there was some discussion on that. I think that was you and Hugh. I don't think I was involved in that, but I agree with the sentiments there. So that's a fun game.
Well,
check it out.
Just like you said, you almost picked Metroid Fusion this time. I almost picked Bionic Commando.
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
funny.
so it works out good. And I can't believe that wasn't a Game Club game yet. And
I better triple check that. I'm pretty sure I checked.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure you're right. And mine is going to be Hi-Octane. So I am going to be playing the PS1 port, but back in the day I played the DOS port and it was fantastic.
Is that like a racing?
Like racing, shooting, kind of a.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm familiar with that
bit
one.
like Wipeout, but yeah, definitely different than Wipeout. But yeah,
I think
we'll
I
get into
think I was thinking of Wipeout. Okay.
Yeah, yep. So easy to emulate. And yeah, so if anyone plays Bionic Commando, Hi-Octane, any Mega Man game, any Metroid game, if you are starring in Dragon's Lair or Street Fighter, or if you do anything with this PicoGUS or play games on YouTube or anything like that, please email us. Email at retrogameclub.net. There's email at retrogameclub.net. Our Discord actually probably gets us more feedback now than email. So please, more people email, but we love everyone in Discord as well. It's active daily. I'm not going to say it's overwhelming or anything, but there's a lot of active people in there. We really appreciate it. We have our link tree here, and we have one email today.
This is from Majors. Apologies in advance for butchering it, Majors. Majors says that he's been busy and finally had a chance to catch up on the last few episodes. In episode 198, that's the Nate Peters Doodle World episode, he says that you, Rob, were talking about comic books and had forgotten Capcom's fighting game Rival Schools.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks there must be something in the water down under to make you lose your retro game memories. And it's unfortunate that the recently released Capcom Fighting Collection 2 did not include Rival Schools.
Yeah, I need to pick that one up. I have the first one. I don't have 2.
Oh, the Collection 2?
Yeah.
And he says at least it had the sequel, Project Justice, which is more impressive than the original, according to Majors. And according to me, the sequels should be more impressive.
I wonder if he read these comics. Because, I think I brought it up because of a comic we picked up on Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. So he goes on and says, it was fun to catch up with Nate in his programming progress and wishes him all the best. And then regarding the Outrun movie announcement, he thought that The Chase from 1994, starring Charlie Sheen and Christy Swanson, was already an Outrun movie. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sheen drives a red BMW in that, so not having a Ferrari must make or break an adaptation. So,
yeah, it makes sense.
In episode 199, that's the SM Oliva episode, Major says he enjoyed the chats with SM Oliva, and it was nice to get a better look at his passion for the Computer Chronicles show and a bit of his history. With self-described weak knowledge about Apple and the Mac, Major says he always thought HyperCard was a video card rather than a database programming suite. It's never too late to learn new things. To be fair, that's a great name for a video card. In like 1992.
Yeah, oh yeah.
HyperCard. Or maybe one that's also a sound card. I don't know. Majors remembers watching the infamous Computer Chronicles episode with the debut of the RDI Halcyon, though it was likely on YouTube well after the 1985 airing. But he likes to check out failed to launch video game consoles. That's always interesting. I agree. Along those lines, now he feels compelled to hunt down the MSX episode that SM Oliva had mentioned. I'm sure that can be pointed out on the Discord.
Yeah, I think it's on I think almost every episode, if not every episode, is on archive.org. I think he actually gave, he meaning Stewart, gave all the
tapes
cards to them. Yeah, so we'll see if I don't know if they digitized them all or anything.
Regarding episode 2, I skipped ahead. He's glad that you had mentioned Volfied. I don't know that one.
Volfied, yeah, that's the Quicks 2 game. Yeah. Or Kicks, sorry. I always say Quicks in my head, so it happened that time.
That's for PC Engine, and he would also suggest Gal's Panic S as another Kicks-like game to try, but it's a little bit naughty. I looked at a video, and I would describe it as a very Japanese video game. And as a footnote, he says to make sure it's Gal's Panic S and not plain Gal's Panic, which I also looked into, and that starts off more tame but gets naughtier.
That could be in Mega Man 12. That could be a bot, like the Japanese girl video bot. I don't know what it would be called.
It wouldn't surprise me. It would be called Gal's Panic.
Let's see. I'm on eBay right now. I see the SS version for Saturn, but didn't he say this was a
PC Engine
game? Let's see.
I'm not sure what version I saw a video of. But
no, I only see it for Saturn here. Oh wait. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we need a clarification. What system?
Now you owe us another email.
Yes.
So, regarding episode 200, the Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3 episode, he seems happy to know the origin story of your ChemDream username. He used to go by Roger Wilco on BBS's, but he started just using his last name when he switched over to internet forums because he'd already been called by just his last name, which is Majors, in some circles to avoid confusion with other Tonys. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty common name, so that makes sense. He brought up, I had brought up Raiden 2 when we were talking about the Magic X040, and Majors recommends Raiden DX. Or if you're burned out on Raiden games, try Viper Phase 1. Have you ever played that?
No, I've never heard of that one.
Okay. I'm going to have to check that out. He says it's similar gameplay and made by the same company. I have Raiden DX on my wish list. I will add Viper Phase 1 to that. And before I picked Bionic Commando, I did have Raiden 2 down as my game club pick, and then I decided I wanted to go with something 8-bit. Then Majors ribs me a little bit, calling me out for having a list of voice actors for Super Mario Bros. 3 Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3, because I have a movie podcast. Totally fair. That's a fair criticism. He's just joking. I'm not going to try to turn this show into something else, although I thought it was interesting that we did a ranking, which is also something that I do on my show, but that was your idea.
Yes, it was. Yeah. I like rankings.
Yes, me too.
I like rankings when I'm involved. When I'm not involved, I'm just screaming at.
You're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but I guess you and we didn't sell him on ever watching Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3.
No, nor should he.
Then, regarding Metal Slug 2 and X, he's a fan of the series, and X is on a short list of games to run at gaming events. He says 3 is a better game, but it takes too long to get through it. Maybe it's too much of a good thing. He says that X doesn't wear out its welcome and always allows more attendees to play through it. That makes sense for an exposition like that. He points out that we both forgot that when you're turned into a zombie, when you toss a grenade as a zombie, you have screen clearing vomit. I did not even think to throw.
I don't think I hit that button while a zombie. Yeah,
I might have to go try that because it sounds really cool. And he wants to know if either one of us enabled red blood in the game settings. I had to look up what that was when he emailed.
I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah,
there's a setting in the MVS BIOS to change that. So I will maybe try that too.
Yeah, I wonder what
And then,
the default is on the Pocket.
oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Then finally, regarding Fatal Labyrinth, he bought that for his Genesis when it was new, and he really liked the roguelike elements. It made for fun replays, sort of like Toe Jam and Earl, which I didn't realize had roguelike elements. I don't know. Not familiar
Similar
with that one.
graphics too. Yeah.
Interesting. Another game along the same vein is Dragon Crystal for Game Gear, and he says it came out around the same time as Fatal Labyrinth and has the same DNA. And I did look into that, and I think it was just a couple months later that Dragon Crystal came out. So thank you for that email, Majors. Sorry if I mangled it.
That's what we're here for.
Keep writing in, mangling emails. That's right.
Yeah, again, email at retrogameclub.net. We have some socials here, and the first one is from me. So our
That guy always writes in.
Yeah, our game club question was, tell us about your games or system you regret selling and or why you sold them. So, and it's because I forget why I was thinking about this the other week at this point, but I have so many. So here are my bad trades or sales. So in 1996, I sold a Macintosh 2 FX, which is at that time the best Mac. It was, a few years before that, it was a $9,000 system. And this is what I was using to play like King's Quest 6 on and stuff like that. My aunt had a print shop company, and when it went out of business, she sold it to me for $200. And I did not realize she gave her nephew an amazing deal. And I think she did it for tax purposes as well. Mm-hmm. But I sold it 2 years later for $200, thinking like not knowing what great of a deal.
Break even.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I sold it to some guy that worked with my dad. I think he was like the IT guy at that company. And he kept saying like, how much did you get this for? And I thought I wouldn't tell him because I thought he was trying to talk me down in price.
Right.
So
I hope you didn't tell your aunt.
No, I didn't. And a year later, I traded my Turbo Duo with a ton of games for a PS1, a new PS1 with 3 games. Because before that, I was all Nintendo 64, and all my friends had PS1, so I was kind of having FOMO. And I thought, oh, this old system, I've had my run with TurboGrafx. I'll never care about this. And yeah, I could mortgage a house with the stuff I used to have. And then a year after that, I sold all my Nintendo stuff for next to nothing. I forget if it was a garage sale or something. And the one that hurts me the most. So in 2002, I was living with a bunch of dudes in this house, and because we could all afford, it's at a time where you needed housemates. Yeah. And on eBay, this is when I was really getting back into retro. And I forget if it was eBay or the University of Michigan had like a resale shop of technology and stuff that they weren't going to use anymore. And they always had Macs there. So I know I got at least some Macs from there back in the day. Anyway, I really miss that place. But I got a Mac Color Classic with a bunch of upgrades that kind of made it a classic Color Classic 2 and a carrying case, which if you look at this stuff on eBay now, hundreds of dollars. I got it all for $5. Because in 2002, no one wanted this. And it was such a cool machine. I didn't sell it. But one night I was bored. I think it's when I was finally living alone. I forget. Yeah, I think it was. And I took it apart thinking I was going to mod it for something. Like make some kind of weird game system out of its shell. Mm-hmm. And I ended up breaking it and throwing it away. No. And out of everything, I really miss this the most because that was probably, in 2005. And in 2005, I had a dual G5, a Mac Tower that I used for gaming and audio. I had Dreamcast and a PS2, both, bought at stupid prices. But I used this computer probably the most just because it was so cool and fun and upgraded. And then after that, I sold all my DVDs and Blu-rays, and that's when I stopped selling and getting rid of stuff. And now I just hoard. And sorry I'm rambling here, but my good trades were in 1994. my Apple 2GS gave to my grandma, and she loved it. And it had she made so many cards and stuff like that for it. And
nice.
She used it to do a local charity's books for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
In fact, she was the runner-up for Mitch Albom's Person of the Year for how much charity she did with that Apple. And I was happy to make her a nerd, and I love that she used it for charity and stuff, and it gave her something to do. But she ended up giving it to that charity. I was just kind of like, come on. So I had to buy another one way later. In 96, when I graduated from high school, and then one of the last weeks of high school, I traded my Nintendo 64 with my 2 or 3 games for a 64-bit Diamond ISA graphics card to put in my 386.
Oh.
And I actually used it for Hi-Octane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can't express how big of an upgrade this was, and that was a great trade. Probably a fair trade, but we were both very happy. After that, I traded my dual Pentium 166 for a Pentium 233 MMX with a nice Mystique GPU in it. And I didn't need a dual CPU, and nor did any operating system that played games utilize dual CPU. So that was a good one. And then in late 1999, I traded a really bad guitar, like this horrible beat up Epiphone, for a Power Mac. But I forget what they called the Mac laptops back then, but it was the 233 G4 or G3.
It was a PowerBook.
PowerBook, yeah. And God, I love that laptop. I did so much cool stuff with it, including playing around with Yellow Dog Linux, the first PowerPC Linux.
Yes. Yep.
So sorry that was a bit nostalgic ramble, but that kind of gives you an idea of the stories I'm looking for, because I know this was a weird question, and we do have a few answers already. But if that kind of sparked your memory of any stories you have, please send them in. But Eric from the Pacific Northwest writes in with Capcom 2, Power Stone 1, Sega GT, Code Veronica, Zombie Revenge, Toy Commander, Blitz. I don't know if that's that football game or not. And a handful of other burned discs to help fund a GameCube in December of 2003. Later selling the GameCube at GameStop to get credit for something in 2006. And he had so many good games like Melee, Smash, Double Dash, RE4, and 2 Wavebirds, which, again, you could mortgage your house with a few Wavebirds. And, what if we flip that and said, what are the stuff that you did not get rid of? Wait, what was that? Or sorry.
Yeah, he was saying, what console do you not regret getting rid of?
Yeah. And that's the Wii U. He owned 3 of them. He hates the slow UI and those damn disk drives. But yeah, you must love your Wii U. That is never saw that. Those are going to be expensive pretty soon. They're already going up, especially a lot of the games that have not been ported yet. Just hoard those.
And never
just don't sell anything, really, is what I'm saying. Let's see. No Swear Gamer. In college, he basically had to sell his whole collection when he wanted to start a new one. That includes selling some of his boxed Sega Genesis Nomad, Crusader of Senti Complete. Oh my God, that game right now is for over, I think it's about $3,200 for a boxed Crusader.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be a Game Club game soon. I want to play it a lot before it's one, but it's a Legend of Zelda like.
Right, for Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should play that.
Shining Force 3 Complete on the Saturn. Oh, man, yeah. And a boxed Jag CD. Oh, man, all this stuff. Just never sell anything. And he also says he gave away his old Funko Land newsletters with all the prices and Sears wishbooks. Oh, those were the best, too. I wish I had those fold-out ones, the Funko Land ones.
It's not the same thing as holding it in your hand, but archive.org does have a few Funko Land catalogs and price lists, and a bunch of the Sears wish books. And also, I was looking into it, and if you go to Christmas.org, musetechnical.com, they have pretty much every Sears wish book that you could ever imagine.
Oh, wow. I'll check that out around Christmas time for sure. And I think Hugues' site has a lot of these scanned as well.
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
SM Oliva, the only system he sold back in the day were Genesis and Apple IIc. Doesn't regret either. He could get all the Genesis ROMs today, and the Apple IIc was not a good gaming system. Which, agree to oh, I don't know. I'm just thinking the Apple II in general. I don't have a lot of experience with the C. Maybe there's something specific that made it not as good as the other ones for gaming.
I mean, I think his point was that it wasn't a good gaming computer, but it was a fine home computer.
Oh.
I don't know. That's all I played. I didn't have an Atari or an NES for a long time. We just had an Apple. It was an Apple II clone. I guess it was technically an Apple IIe clone, maybe.
Okay.
But it was all single screen games. Mr. Robot, that was fun. Come on.
Yeah, there were a lot. I liked a lot of Apple II. That, that's where I got my CR Online start.
Oh yeah, of course, Space Quest.
Yeah, exactly.
King's
Yeah.
Quest.
And Gun BR, which by the way, in Discord for some reason, I'm a little bit dyslexic, and so I have always read Gun BR as Gunner B in my head.
I always do too.
Really? Okay, it's not just me.
I know him.
So his biggest regret is getting rid of his C64, mostly because it had so many childhood memories, specifically ones he wished he had a working SID chip to play today. Yeah, for sure. And to be fair, it probably wasn't his decision since it was his dad's computer. Just like right before pandemic times, like in 2019, someone I work with walked into my office and said, like, didn't you say you were really into like old computers and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah. As he's looking at me, and I have two Apples sitting next to me on my desk, and an SGI machine, and he's like, yeah, my father-in-law just got rid of. He just threw out his box C64 with all these games, and like if you name, he showed me a photo of it, and like just name a C64 accessory, and it was in this image, and I was like, oh my god. Is it still there? Can I go pick it up? And he's like, no, garbage came this morning. I'm like, why did you tell me this? I still think about it to this day.
What was the point of him telling you? He just wanted to hurt you.
I think so. Yeah. And so thank you all for the social feedback, most of which was in Discord. And our next question in the episode actually comes from Gun BR. What's the furthest you've played an arcade game on a single credit? So please send in your answers in any way you like. And please join the Discord. There's a link tree in our show notes. So go to it. Get on in.
I would say not very far on any game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And any closing thoughts? I think that wraps this one up. We kind of had a long one this time.
Yeah. I am out of thoughts.
Me too. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for Zach. Thanks for joining. See you all later.
Take care.